Hey everybody, thanks for checking out this video. In the last video, if you remember, I was telling you about how hot it was getting out here in Arizona and how I had covered up the windows in the front room and put in that air conditioner and all that. Well, my sister Terry was here with me, but that did not work so well. It worked good, pretty good, but not the best. So I thought I better try something else because, as it turns out, there was we got some relief for a couple days. And after Terry was gone, I got a few days of decent weather. And then, again, it was going to get over 100 degrees again. So it was craziness. I really just had to figure out, again, something better. So what I ended up doing was going and getting a whole bunch of reflective material, which is like this stuff here behind the TV. And still left the room all walled off, but I went and covered up every single one of these windows with that reflective, which was a treat in itself, trying to do it all by myself. And, you know, it's not perfect because I had to cut it and everything too, and then get it back behind these mom shades. But, you know, all in all, it looks so much better than all the curtains hanging around. And then I put in, of course, this whole wall, because that was just a nightmare heat behind there. But there's some light coming out down there. Believe it or not, there's still some heat coming through that little bit of light. But, of course, it made it darker in here. I just took off this. I have a thing I stuffed up in there, too. But I just took that off so it's a little bit lighter in here so I could show you what I did, too. So, since I was hanging out in here for so long, you know, days and hours at a time, I moved Mom's living room around a little bit too, so I could sit here or sit there and watch TV. So that worked out pretty good. And be close to the air conditioner, which is not on right now, so you could hear me. But yeah, so that's what's going on. Moved the table and everything. So I'm just going to leave it like this until Mom and Beth get here, and they can tell me what they want to do. They want to move it or not move it. I mean, remove them. Remove it or not remove the reflective material or whatever they want to do. So, whatever Mom wants to do. So, we'll figure it out. But that's what's going on for the time being, the day's day. Oh, yeah, I got these little thermometers. Finally found them. You'd think that'd be easy, but no, it was not. And essentially what it boils down to, whatever temperature it is outside, in this trailer, it's the same one, unless you unless you wall off the whole room like I did here and, you know, put a blanket wall up and try and keep the cool air in there. So, headed to the land today. I stopped at public library this morning and made some copies, and I also tried to check my air. But you know, free air at the Quick Trip here is different than the free air at the Quick Trip at home. Anyways, I'm going to meet a guy who's going to give me a bid on a foundation plan today. So that's why I'm headed there. So we'll see how the day goes. Hopefully it goes well. I get some more information. Still waiting to hear back from District 4, who wants to charge us $8,500 just to get the electricity to the electrician so he can put it on our house. I don't know. Every time I turn around, this just gets more expensive. I don't know. We actually flaunted the idea of just cutting our losses and getting out, but decided against that once I talked to a realtor and told us that we would only get X amount of dollars out of the land, and that isn't even what we have into it. But if we kept it and finished finished it, we could possibly make like 2 or 3 times what we got into it. So what we'll have into it, I don't know. So we'll see what happens, but I gotta pay attention to my driving here. I'm on the 202 heading towards, I don't know. So I got here and I'm waiting on the on-time handyman. Don't know. No, really, that's the name of him, apparently, but it's a little afternoon. He was supposed to be here at noon. But I think on the or not the website, but the page is through Thumbtack that they said within a half an hour or so. So he's still got time to be on time. Anyways, just hanging out. Put together the table that I stole from Scotty Jr. and brought all the way out here in the Prius. In the shade. Sitting. Waiting patiently. So hopefully we can start to get some information. There's just so many moving parts on this whole project right now. It's like even the electric company is still not gotten back to me. And so electrician, the electric company needs to put a transformer up there, and I guess they're going to supply and run the lines actually to the house once the house gets moved over here. And then the electrician hooks it up to the house or something. I don't know how, who's doing what. I'm going to clarify that though today too. Try to anyways. And we have to pay for all the trenching and all that. So I need to get a hold of the electrician's trencher guy to see if he wants to, besides trench for the electric, if he wants to trench for the piers that we are now going to do for the foundation plan. So that's what I'm having done today, is the actual foundation itself, that those piers to be built is what I'm trying to get bids for. So okay, see what happens. Hopefully today something. Oh yeah, other big news. I did hear back from the state, and they did approve my state-approved foundation, sent me all the paperwork, and the documents I had to figure out. You have to go in on the website and drag them off of there, pull them off of there, which I managed to figure out how to do again because I'd forgotten my passwords and blah, blah, blah. Anyways, figured all that out. Sent it on to the, back to the county. So now that the county has all that, it's just a matter of formality before they issue me the permit. So that's what we're waiting on now as far as they're concerned. So, yay, something good. Just for some updates. I was out at the land, and the guys that I was waiting for, they did show up. They were just running late on a job that they were doing, but they kept good constant communication with me, so that was cool. At any rate, and they're the only ones that have shown up out there. I've had several other people tell me they wanted to, or they were going to, or never really confirmed anything. So, nice guys, probably in their 30s. I think the 3 of them work together quite consistently, so they were going to give me a bid on everything. They said that they could do it all. And then I even asked them later, I texted them about placing the trailer too, just because it made sense to me that if they're going to do the foundation, that they should be able to set the trailer too. So yeah, they were willing to do all that. So anyways, I'm waiting for bids on that. In the meantime, I had emailed the electric company and just had asked if there was any way that they could, if they had some kind of a low-income program, or this whole cost thing for this was, the bid was $8,500, which is just insane to me, because at home, the electric company takes care of all the utilities up to the pole, and then from the pole to the house and the electricians, and you have to pay for that. I guess I understand that, but this was for the transformer and all this stuff. So it's $8,500, and we weren't anywhere near to be having electricity. So it's just so crazy to me. So anyways, he didn't get back to me by email, so I waited a day or so, and then I called and talked to the very nice lady in the office, and she said I'm not sure he's in, and left a message, and I didn't get a response back. So I called again the next day, and very nice lady again. She just forwarded, and he was in there. So I talked to him, and his name is Dave. Anyways, and Dave was telling me, long story short, our electrician apparently had called up there and was making a lot of noise, and I think he thought he was helping us, but as it turns out, it was just making things way more difficult, because Davi just said he wished that he wasn't involved. It just made things more difficult for him. It ended up being gone to his boss, and then farther up the line, so it was totally taken out of his hands, and he proceeded then to just tell me that, he looked back. He said when he does those computer bids, the computer picks the current price of everything that's listed, that's needed. And he looked back in his inventory, and he did find that there was 3 transformers still available from the old pricing. So he was going to try and get that pricing for me, because what they quoted a year ago, last year about this time, was like $5,000, and so he was going to try and get that, see if he could lower this bid down to that by using that older price, because that's actually what they paid for it. They didn't have to pay the new price for this particular transformer. And he was going to have to go now to his boss and the boss and blah blah blah, and make his way back up the chain and get all that taken care of, because like, apparently it had just gotten out of hand. So, I don't know, and I was so apologetic, I was like, we didn't ask him to do that. Did not know that he was gonna do that. Dave said he was throwing around, all these terms, and, it just, I don't know. It's never been my nature to scream and yell and try and get something that I want. It always seems to be better if you can try and figure out something, another way around the bend, because it just never works to be rude and obnoxious, and, I don't know. So, I appreciate the electrician trying, but I did not know that he was doing it in that manner, and it just, as it turns out, just made things worse. So, Dave thought for sure that he could get that passed, and he was going to try and get it down to about 6,000 or so. So, whatever he could do at this stage of the game, because we're stuck. We absolutely have to have it. And what are you going to do? You're almost being held up by gunpoint, to some degree. But it's like, I guess the other option is just not to live there. So, which is an option. So, Scott and I did toss that around, just giving it all up and just giving it in, cutting our losses and getting out. And that just didn't make any sense after I talked to the realtor. I think I'd mentioned that before. At any rate, so that's where we're at with the electric company. I have another guy, like I said, supposed to be giving me a bid for just the digging and trenching work, and then somebody else for the foundation, but I have not heard anything yet, so that's all I know right now. Hopefully we'll hear something soon. So another really important update. Why we didn't know this, I don't know, but Scott happened to just call down to the county down here and try and talk to one of the inspectors, because we thought, well, that's going to be our next hurdle, and it's to get through these inspections to figure out how, you know, particularly they are, and, you know, all that jazz. And so this is really more up Scott's alley. I sure miss his presence down here, but, you know, it is what it is. So we're trying desperately to just trying to get through it. So anyways, he got a hold of the guy, finally called him back, and essentially the inspector told him, well, this is, you know, a really specific license that they have to have, and he won't even talk to anybody unless they have this specific license for, you know, installing the manufactured homes, and that we shouldn't have to worry about any of this stuff, because Scott was trying to figure out if we could use sonic tubes instead of those blocks, those cement blocks, and that particular foundation plan. And so, no, he did find that out. No, you can't do that. And then that led further into this explanation about this whole thing with the, you know, and I mean, I knew we had to have somebody licensed, but we were like, okay, well, they have to be licensed. We didn't know, you know, they didn't say what kind of specific license or anything at the time. Nobody really said anything to us about that. Once again, never getting the full information from the county, or, you know, I don't know. It's like, this has just been such a foobar mess trying to get through all this. It's unbelievable. So anyways, now the guys that I had come out, they did say that they were licensed, but I'm sure that they're not licensed for this. Otherwise, there would have been a whole bunch of work, this kind of work on their you know, reviews and everything, because there's a need for it out here. There's so many manufactured homes, excuse me, don't call them mobile homes anymore, manufactured homes. So there's a need to do all this kind of work, and you have to be licensed for so much of it. And then compound that when you're in a flood zone such as we are. So we can't do any of this work ourselves. And that was the other mistaken thing that we had thought all along, you know, until last year sometime. I don't know when you figured that out. At any rate, so now I got to go back to these guys and say, you have to have this kind of license, or, you know, so I don't know. It just put a whole, I mean, a great finding out now rather than before the inspector gets here and denying all the work that could have possibly been done and money paid. You can imagine the mess that we would have been in. Boy, talk about just not knowing, you know. I don't know. I don't know. So, I don't know what the answer is. I don't know. Apparently we needed to do more homework, but I just don't know where we could have gone, because nobody seems to want to give you all of the information down here either. So, I don't know. I'm pretty frustrated. But we're going to get through it. So, we're that much closer. Did get our loan. We had to go through and get a home equity loan to finish this. And, you know, that's all gone through. And, you know, I'm here in Arizona, so I had to do things by DocuSign and get things notarized. And so we did get through all that. So now we're still on this process of waiting for the county. I don't know what the holdup is there. But I'll see what I can find out about that. So next video, I'm sure I'll have some more accurate information for you. So hang tight, people. Thanks for hanging in there with us. This has just been such an ordeal, but appreciate you guys out there. Thanks for watching. Give us a thumbs up. Please subscribe if you haven't already. It really will help our channel. And as always, leave us a comment. We'd love to hear from you guys. So bye till the next time.